Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Godwin Sunday. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. And now to the news. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu says his administration will unlock the potential of every state across the country. Tinubu made this statement as he embarked on a one-day walking visit to Kaduna State. He said the move was to enable all the states in the country to serve their people conveniently and effectively. President Bola Tinubu has set up a committee to help restore sustainable peace to Benue State following last Friday's massacre in Yelwata community in Guma local government area of Benue State, which saw around 200 people killed. Members of the peace committee selected by the president include former military governor of Benue State, retired General Aton Bera, Senator George Akume, Senator Gabriel Suswan, and Samuel Otom, all of whom are former Benue governors. Tinubu urged Governor Alia to champion the activities of the Peace Committee, which also include federal officials and non-indigenous living in the state. In the related development, President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to take decisive action against criminal elements responsible for the ongoing attacks in Benue State. Our Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere reports from Makurdi.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu arrived Benue State days after the latest attacks on the state by insurgents. Then he proceeded to the Benue State University Teaching Hospital for a brief stopover where he met with victims of the recent attacks. President Tinubu emphasized his administration's resolve to tackle security crises head-on and calls for the formation of a peace committee and pledged full support for Benue State government's efforts to restore peace.
I expect there should be arrests of those criminals. Christopher, I know you can't be tired of staying in the bush, and Oloyede and Basha, thank all of you, but we need to keep our ears to the ground. Let's get those criminals, let's get them out.
Governor Hyacinth earlier thanked the president for visiting and called for the creation of a community support fund to assist displaced persons. He also renewed the call for the establishment of state police to strengthen internal security.
The federal government to consider establishing a special intervention fund for communities affected by these incessant attacks in Benue State.
For the paramount ruler of the Tiv Nation, Professor James Ayate, the violence in Benue is not merely a case of farmer herders clashes, but a well-orchestrated assault on his people. He appealed to the president to end what he described as genocide and reaffirmed the loyalty and support of the Tiv Nation to the federal government.
Remain tolerant, negotiate for peace, learn to live with your neighbors. What we are dealing with here in Benue is a calculated, well-planned, full-scale genocidal invasion and land grabbing campaign.
As the president concludes his visit, stakeholders stress the need for sincere dialogue and practical steps, not political rhetoric, to halt the continued killings and displacement in Benue communities. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has lambasted President Bola Tinubu for turning his condolence visit to Benue into a fanfare. In a post on his X-handle, Obi frowned at the president's choice of Agbada attire and the atmosphere that trailed his visit to the state, noting that such fanfare contradicts the gravity of the tragedies that struck Benue and Niger states. Obi maintained that the president should have appeared in mourning clothes rather than adorn himself in his usual Agbada regalia, given the situation of things on the ground. The Benue State Coordinator of National Youth Service Corps, Veronica Gaba, said the core members in crisis area have been evacuated into family houses in Makurdi. The coordinator said that as soon as they heard about the crisis, the management communicated with the police who evacuated the core members from both Yewata and Daudu areas. Garba said the core members were instantly settled at their family houses, including offices of the Nigerian Corpus Christian Fellowship, National Association of Catholic Corps Members, and Muslim Corps Members Association of Nigeria. The Anambra State government has given a directive for residents of the state to repaint their building to enhance the aesthetics of the state. In a press statement released by the Commissioner for Environment, Felix Odumegu, stated that the residents of the state who fail to do so by July the 1st would face sanctions. The release informed that this initiative forms part of Governor Soludo's broader vision to transform Anambra into a smart modern megacity where visual order, environmental responsibility, and livable go hand in hand. Let's turn to other stories. A wife of Abia State Governor Priscilla Oti says the state will continue to protect the right of widows and vulnerable women to inherit landed properties in order to enable them to be strong economically, which will further enhance their standard of living. The governor's wife spoke during an event to mark the 2025 International Widows' Day in Umuahia, the state capital. The Abia First Lady, who was represented by the wife of the Deputy Governor, Adeze Emetu, stated that the theme of this year's celebration, Beyond Reason, Rebuilding Lives, Strengthening Communities and Challenging Stigma, was timely as it sought to address the numerous economic and social problems which can erode the dignity and potential of many widows. The Gaya Emirates Council in Kano State has withdrawn the traditional title of Waziri Gaya from a former secretary to the Kano State government and the chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Usman Alhaji. Usman Alhaji served as the secretary to the state government in former Governor Abdullahi Ganduji's administration. Although the Emirates did not give a specific reason for the decision, the move comes days after the former secretary to the state government under the banner of the All Progressive Congress, Patriotic Volunteers, accused Governor Abba Yusuf, New Nigerian People's Party-led administration of lacking direction, competence, and clear policy initiatives. Former Vice President Namadi Sambo has officially decamped from the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC. Sambo served as Vice President of Nigeria from 19 May 2010 to 29 May 2015 under the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration. Having served as governor of Kaduna State from 2007 to 2010, Sambo became the latest high-profile politician to dump the PDP for the All Progressive Congress in the build-up to the 2027 general elections. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has granted the senator representing Kogi Central, the Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti Udwa, bail in the sum of 50 million naira, and one shorty who must be a person of reasonable integrity resident in FCT Abuja, and owns a landed property within the Abuja Municipal Council area. The Nigerian Senate has vowed to closely monitor the disbursement and implementation of the 1.48 trillion naira budget submitted by the sole administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, as part of its oversight responsibility under the current emergency rule in the state. Speaking during the budget defense section at the National Assembly on Thursday, the chairman of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Oversight of Emergency Governance in Rivers State, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, assured Nigerians that the legislature will ensure that every naira allocated in the 2025 appropriation bill delivers tangible results. The Nigerian Air Force operating under Operation Adikai has destroyed an explosive devices factory, terrorist gun trucks, and eliminated dozens of fighters in Kwatiri within the Tokumbutu Triangle area of Borno State. This was contained in a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commander Ehime Ejodame in Abuja. Ejodame said the airstrikes executed on Wednesday followed an intelligence report of terrorist activity in the area. He said that the surveillance confirmed the presence of an IED-making site and vehicles which were struck in precision passes by the Nigerian Air Force aircraft. You are watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Governor decry World Bank's delay in NGK's funding commitments. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. In business, President Bola Tinubu has officially commissioned the newly constructed Collector Road CN2 from Arterial Road N11 in Mabushi District to George's Quarters at Katampe District. President Tinubu, who was represented by the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, says the commissioning marks a significant milestone in the government's efforts to revamp FCT road infrastructure and promote Abuja as a premier destination of choice. Our correspondent was there and a report.
It was a moment of jubilation and celebration at the heart of Mabuchi and Katampe district of Abuja as President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, commissioned the newly constructed CN2 and CN3 Mabushi to Katampe roads. The extensive construction, which began shortly after the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike assumed office, making it the fourth commission project in the 17 days infrastructural development project in Abuja. Witness saw in attendance top government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and stakeholders in the hospitality and tourism sector. While commissioning the center, the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, commended the minister and urged the FCT residents to see the road as theirs and protect it.
This is your road. Residents of Mabushi, residents of Katampe, surrounding areas. This is your road. Protect it while you use it. Preserve it while you use it.
The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike emphasized on the importance of tax payments in order to move the Federal Capital Territory forward.
Increase. So, if we only depend on 1% of what the federal government gets every month, it means that we can win this line, not to talk about carrying out infrastructure. And that's why we're very aggressive to say, you cannot be enjoying this free of charge. You have to pay.
The reconstructed road is expected to boost economic infrastructure, create jobs, and serve as a revenue-generating asset for the FCT administration. With this commissioning, Abuja reclaims its place as a top destination for development in Africa. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Senate has defended the significant increase in the 2025 Rivers State budget, describing the adjustment as necessary, people-oriented, and aligned with sustaining peace and development under the ongoing emergency administration. Our correspondent, Uyi Agbomofuegbe, has the details.
Rivers State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas presented a revised budget of 1.846 trillion naira to the Senate Ad hoc Committee on Oversight an increase of 360 billion naira from the initial estimate of 1.486 trillion naira submitted by President Bola Tinubu.
The total expenditure plan for 2025, like I stated earlier, is 1.80 trillion naira as submitted to Mr. President. However, after receipt of the additional information on the first quarter expenditure, the reviewed projected expenditure for 2025 is 1.846 trillion naira.
Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele emphasized that about 85% of the budget had been drafted by the previous administration before the emergency rule, with revisions reflecting new priorities in the infrastructure and public welfare.
At least 85% of the budget estimates presented to us today were the budget estimates already drawn up by the Fubara-led administration before the emergency rule. They had increased it by some 15% or so based on projects, additional projects that needed to be executed. In the course of
he attributed the increase mainly to urgent capital projects and key welfare obligations, including a notable 50 billion naira allocation for outstanding pensions and gratuities to restore dignity to retired public servants and ensure social stability. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Governors across Nigeria have expressed concern over World Bank delay in fulfilling its financial commitments under the Nigerian Community Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus, also known as NGCARES program, despite $2.2 billion investment made by the 36 states. NGCARE is a World Bank-supported initiative which stands for Nigerian COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus. It is designed to mitigate the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on vulnerable households and businesses. The program aims to restore livelihoods, improve food security, and support the recovery of micro and small enterprises, MSMEs. And on the foreign scene, a nurse has been sentenced to life in prison for killing 5 babies and attempting to murder 8 others at a hospital in Argentina. Brenda Cecilia Aguero injected potassium and insulin into newborns between March and June 2022, taking doses from emergency medical cart without inventory control, prosecutors said. Under Argentine law, Aguero will not be eligible for parole before serving 35 years in jail. Meanwhile, the Indian airline chairman says one of the engines of the Air Indian plane that crashed last week was new, while the others was not due for servicing until December. In an interview, Natarajan said both engines of the aircraft 170 people, most of them passengers, were killed last Thursday when AI-171, a London-bound Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, crashed less than a minute after taking off from the Ahmedabad airport in western India. The United States government says it will resume student and exchange visitor visa processing, but with a new requirement that all applicants must make their social media profile public for vetting. In a statement released by the U.S. Department of State authorities, said applicants for academic, vocational, and exchange nomination grants visas will undergo more intensive screening, including a review of their online presence. The department noted that a U.S. visa is a privilege, not a right, and that visa adjudication are national security decisions. And in sports, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will participate in the maiden edition of the WAFU Under-20 Cup of Nations, Ghana will host the competition from Thursday, 10th July to Wednesday, 24th of July, 2025. All the matches will be played in the country's capital, Accra. The tournament was originally scheduled to take place in Papram from 15th to 30th of June. It was postponed to ensure that best possible conditions for the tournament was observed. The Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria has announced the top 6 finalists for the 2025 Young Players of the Year award, highlighting a standout group of emerging talent who have impressed across the Premier League and beyond last season. The nominees include Liam Delap, Dean Oseji, Milos Kakez, Miles Lewis Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, and Morgan Rogers. Each player has earned recognition for their contribution to the respective clubs with standout performances that underline their growing influence on the pitch. And that's it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using a Global TV NG. Don't forget that you can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Godwin Sunday. Thank you for watching.